Dear friends, in this video, I'd like to go through one machine together with you on the Vulnhub, which is Pink's Palace V1. The link will be added into the description section below so that you can download and play the machine if you want. I think this machine is very hard from my point of view. Even some parts of the process is very difficult to understand. Before we go ahead, if you don't mind, please subscribe to my channel and leave a like below. You're greatly appreciated. So without further ado, let's just get started. We can switch into the Kubernetes VM. The first thing, what we have to do is to discover the IP address of the target. As always, we can use net discover to do this task. As you can see over here, the IP address of target can be identified as 124. Next, we need to do the port scanning and surface scanning with a map. To save time, I've already done that earlier. So for now, we just get out the results. As you can see over here, I use the option like scene scan, the version scan, the default script scan, and then followed by the -p- to do the comprehensive scan. And then the last option for all is ON to output the result into this file. Of course, as you can notice here, the IP address of target has been changed. It's different from the one when I did the machine the first time. So from the map scanning, we can tell that the target has several open port number. The first one is 8080, which is running HTTP service and also the version information injects. And the next one is also running HTTP service. Of course, this is not a normal HTTP service. This is a proxy. The squid. I think we have already done similar machines. The machine run the squid proxy service. And the last one, a very high port number, 64666, which is running SSH service and also the version information. As we know, this version doesn't have any vulnerability what we can exploit. So what we are going to do next, we need to do the immersion with HTTP service first, both manually and automatically. Let's launch our browser and put the IP address of the target into the address bar. Port number, forbidden, nothing coming back. Also, if you want, you can check the source, the robots file, not found. And if you want to check it or use Ligato to find the directory, you will not find anything. You will find nothing, okay? Also, similarly, we can use GoBuster to do the directory immersion. Share with the list, GoBuster, directory. Press enter. And of course, you can put the exclude lens to avoid this error. So very weird, we cannot find anything from GoBuster. So how to do? Maybe because from the map scanning, we have already know that the target is running squid proxy service. Maybe we need to use such proxy to access this port number. or access this service which is running over the 8080 port number. Okay, so let me do that. So how to do? First of all, we can use the Fox proxy, and we can already, of course, I've already configure this. As you can see over here, of course, we need to change the host name or the host IP address and the port number, and then we can save. Okay, and we can close up this tab, and we can turn on the proxy to pinky, and so then all traffic will go through the port number, very high port number, this one, 31337. So now we can access the 8080. Of course, this time we need to access the local host 8080. Press enter. As you can see, we got the different response, different page. Here we got some message under development, and similarly we can check its source code, which doesn't reveal anything, and also we can check whether we can access robots file. Not found. Next, we can use the Nicto. Of course, this time we need to configure the proxy to make such immersion, right? And similarly, in the browser, we need to use a Foxy proxy plugin to configure this proxy. However, in this, because we are running the command line, and we need to use the option, the proxy, use proxy, and then we can press enter. As you can see, this time we got a different response from the Nicto. If you can compare the response to this one, this one. Of course, I don't think we can find some useful result from the Nicto. To save time, I will not wait. Next, we can use GoBuster to do the directory immersion. Similarly, we need to specify the proxy. And I'd like to autocomplete. We need to configure the proxy. If you don't know how to specify the proxy, we can use GoBuster dir -help to get the instruction or usage. Okay, so for now we can press enter. Because this will take a bit long time to finish, so I will pause the video. When it's done, I will come back. See you there. As you can see, after a while, the GoBuster has discovered this a bit complicated directory. Maybe we can note down this information onto our notebook. So we can dir. I don't think it's necessary to wait for this GoBuster to finish. Okay, so I'd like to interrupt it here. So then we can access this directory. As you can see, this is the Pinky's admin files login panel, and we can try to use admin as username, and also password is admin to login. However, incorrect username, and then we can use the login bypass technique to try, and the password anything login, incorrect username and password. I'd like to summarize the methodology for the user login. First, I think we need to check the source code of such a page. Luckily, I only allow localhost access to my web server. Okay, I've already know this earlier, and so we need to check the source code. Sometimes source code contains the credential, and next we can try to use the weak credentials. And the next method should be to use the bypass technique. Bypass technique. Bypass technique. And then we can use SQL map to test SQL injection vulnerability. And then if none of above mentioned methods cannot work, then we need to make brute force cracking. Okay. So now I have already tried these three methods. Now we can try to use the next method. So how to do? We can open up the inspect tool of the browser, go to the network tab, and we can put something like the main and password and login, and we can get the post request. Excuse me. So then we can get the URL. So how to do? We can use the SQL map. Maybe I'd like to auto URL little secrets main login PHP. Of course, we need to specify the proxy. This case should be 124. Okay. And then we need to specify the data. The data should be here. So we can copy this data. And we can specify the level. Maybe level we can set it to 5. The risky to 3. And now we can press enter. Because I've already done that earlier or before. So the SQL map has cache. This process is done very quickly. So then it means that the target is vulnerable to the SQL injection vulnerability. And then we want to retrieve the database information on the target. And this one is what we want. And we can use uppercase D to specify the database. And then I want to get the tables with this database. Okay, the two tables with this database. And I want to retrieve or dump the users because this table always contains credentials like username and passwords. We can press enter. Do you want to store hashes? Okay. Do you want to crack them? No. It's done. As you can see, we got 2 users and its corresponding passwords. And we can copy. And next, I think we can use the crack station to crack, or you can use the like John the Ripper, or use the Hashcat. But I think this website is much more convenient, and we can copy this encrypted MD5 password, traffic light, crack, however not found. Then we can try to crack the next password. As you can see, we got the decrypted password, and then we can note down this information. So the username should be this one. So next, I think we can try to, credentials, or there's some sort of vulnerability. The password or credentials are reused in different locations or by different service. Okay. So next, I try to use this credential, this username, and its password to log in via SSH. So the username should be this one. We can copy, and the IP address of the target. Of course, please don't forget to specify the port number, which is very unusual. Port number. We can copy and paste in here. We can yes. The password we have already decrypted. Okay, so far we have already got initial for the hold on the target. Next, I think we need to elevate our privilege. So how to do? And we can do some things like a sudo, but nothing. We can go to the home directory, the pinky, but permission denied, opt, nothing there. Go to var, go to backups, nothing there. Go to www directory, go to HTML directory, go to the little subdirectory, little. We go to, we got a very interesting and very long subdirectory. We can go inside this subdirectory. We got a node. We can cut out this node. So, just in case I get locked out of my server, I put this in RSA key here. Nobody will find it. Yeah, we have already found. So we can cut out this. So this looks like this is the encoded data, and we can copy, and maybe I can zoom in the terminal. So we can use the echo. And save to the private key. We can cut out this private key. Yeah, this is private key. And we need to change its permission in order to use this key. And then we can log in to the target by or with this private key. And the username should be another username. Okay. As you can see, we have already made the successful lateral movement, and we can get there is another node. So being working on this program to help me when I need to do administrator tasks. Sudo is just too hard to configure, and I can never remember my root password. Sadly, I'm fairly new to C, so I was working on my printing skills because I'm not sure how to implement shell spawning yet. So from this node, we can know that this, I think us can very quickly we can notice this binary or executable the main helper, and also you can check its permission. This has SUID bit. It means that current user run this executable will get the privilege of the owner, the root, temporarily. Okay. And also here, Also, I think this binary or executable has something to do with the shell spawning. We have already used the spawning. For example, when we get the not very well shell and then we want to spawn the bin bash session or shell. You know this, right? So let's check to see what it's about. However, nothing. And if we, so do we input or specify the arguments? It can just print out what we input. So from here, maybe this executable has the segmentation or buffer overflow attack vulnerability. So let me show you how to do. Also the Python 2 is there, so we can run the main helper and we can print. Oh, sorry, not print, Python print. We always use uppercase A to test the buffer overflow attack. For example, to 100, we got the segmentation fault. It means that also we want to check which. So maybe this binary is vulnerable to the buffer overflow attack. And the file is there, and at the main helper. This case, although this is the ELF or executable, Linux executable, however, this is the 64-bit. This is, the buffer overflow with the 64-bit binary would be very different from the when we targeting with when we targeting with the 32-bit binary. So let me show you. To be honest, it's a bit more complicated. Okay. So how to do? Now we can. We need to find the location where the program or the binary starts to break. Okay, starts to break. So we can use. We can use try and test way. So we can use the 50. Okay, so no error, no segmentation error. And then we can go to the 75, the middle of the range. We got the segmentation. So we can go to 73. Okay, so I think we got another different error. When the target or when the binary is 64, this is the phenomenon we want to look for. So from what we have written down is to find or locate the location. We want to find the location of the RIP. Yeah, the very similar to EIP. EIP is the address for the next instruction. So next we need to check whether we can overwrite this EIP. And so I think the GDB is there on the target. So we can run. We can run at the main helper. Okay. And now we can run Python print should be 72. And then EIP, not like for the 32-bit binary, the memory address is 4 bytes, but for the 64 would be 6 bytes. So we can put this one. As can see in here, as you know, this one is the B, and also we can print out the register. The IP has been overwritten or overwrite. So next, I think we need to this we should put, or we should put the address and the address of the next instruction. So next, I think I'd like to quit, and we can run. We can info function. As you can see here, beside the main function, we can notice there is another function spawn. Also, from the notes left by the author, I think this vulnerability has a lot to do with the spawn. So next, I think we need to take a look at this or disassemble this spawn function. So we can set the breakpoint, the main, and then we can, we can run, and then I want to jump to spawn. As you can see here, when we jump to spawn, even we are prompted by another shell. We can run the command like id. So I think now we need to get the address of this spawn. Okay, so let me show you. We can gdb the aux and admin helper, Python print and run. And if you disassemble this function, the spawn, as you can see, we got this one. We got this address. So it means that we want to overwrite the EIP by this address, because this address will be to run or spawn another shell. And as you know, the admin helper has SUID bit, and so it means that this binary has temporarily the privilege of the root user or owner. Okay, so we can note down this address. Next, we need to use the buffer overflow to point to this address. Okay, so now we can quit, exit. So how to do? We can use the admin Python print 72. This is offset, and then of course we need to reverse this address. So how to do? and this should be the EIP. And the EIP, because we use this address to overwrite the IP, not EIP, because this is 64-bit executable. And however, this address would be starting the or to spawn the another shell. Okay, so let me show you. So X D0 X 47 so 6 bytes of the RIP address. Hopefully I have already explained it clearly. Okay, I have already tried my best, and now we can press enter. As you can see, we successfully elevate our privilege. So now we can navigate to root directory, and then we can get out the root flag without a problem. So that's pretty much it. I'd like to see you in the next one. Bye. Have a nice day.